Duke will pick up 55 with a fun one. After winning the World Series, a lot of commercial endorsements kind of came your way. Gillette, Arthur Murray Dance Studios, Clairol. How did your Hollywood career compare to your baseball career?
I did a couple of TV shows, Father Knows Best, Robert Young, and had a lot of fun on that show. It's rerun every once in a while. I think I did a couple Groucho Marx show. Do You Trust Your Wife or something? Bev and I were on that, and there were several. Chuck Connors and the Rifleman. He killed me halfway through the show. That big shotgun that he had, or whatever, rifle I guess it was, the Rifleman they call it, yeah. And had a lot of fun doing a few of those shows. I wasn't much on horseback, but I walked a horse in on back of a horse, and we walked out and had a couple of lines, and then we got in a little gun battle with Chuck, and it was so funny that we're supposed to draw first, of course, and he's so fast with the gun that he still killed us before we could kill him. And I couldn't get the gun out of the holster. And so when he shot, I went down, and I started laughing. And they cut it, and they said, "You're not supposed to laugh when you die." And I said, "Well, I was laughing because I couldn't get the gun out of the holster."
Back to Brooklyn, you shared a very special bond with a few of your teammates and families, the Erskines and the Walkers. We talk about how that bond came together and why it's so unique, at least with having the friendship with Carl today.
Well, we used to room, when we were on the road, we roomed with a player, and they would assign roommates. Well, I roomed with Irv Palika first. Irv Palika was a pitcher who was from the Southern California area, and he and I are about the same age. And I roomed with him for 3 or 4 years, and then Irv went to another ball club, and Erskine and I came back and joined the Dodger Ball Club at about the same time, a few years after I'd roomed with Palika. So I just, Carl and I became pretty good friends, and we started rooming together. We asked the manager if it was okay if we roomed together, and he said sure, and you could more or less pick your roommate. Nowadays everybody has their own private room, but Carl and I got along. We never had one crossword between the two of us, and the 10 or 11 years we roomed together, and we're still very good friends at the fantasy camps that the Dodgers have. He and I, we get together and reminisce and have a great time. Carl and his family are such dear friends, and we treasure that friendship, and it's a lasting friendship and a loving friendship.
Obviously, Duke, you were always a fan favorite in Flatbush, and you always wanted to make sure that the fans had a good time. Some of the stories I've read about you trying to throw baseballs 400 feet into the crowd, into the stands. What were some of those memories with the fans in Brooklyn?
Well, this basically, when I tried to throw the baseball, it was a dare usually. One of the players would say, "You think you can throw one over the right center field fence?" And in Philadelphia, I know this came up one night, and it was close to 400 feet out in that area that they're talking about. And I said, "Sure I can. I can throw a ball of 450 feet. I can throw one over that fence." And well, go ahead. So I'd get the ball and I'd run up towards home plate and let one go and try and throw one out. It wasn't necessarily a fan thing, but we had a lot of fun with the fans. They had a lot of fun with us, and sometimes they got on us a little bit. I know one of your questions later is probably going to be a statement I made about the fans one night. I said these Brooklyn fans don't deserve our ball club. I had gone 0 for 5 and left about 9 runners on that night, and it's always been my thought that I don't think the fans necessarily need to boo you when you're having a bad day, because you know better than anybody that you're lousy. And as a result, the fans booed me that night, and I popped off, and it was in the paper the next day that Snider blasted Brooklyn fans. They don't deserve the team, and this and that. And Buzzy called me up, Buzzy Bavasi, and said, Duke, you got to make an apology. And I said, well, Buzzy, I'm not sorry that I said it. They don't need to boo me. I know when I'm lousy. But I did. I apologized with tongue in cheek, I guess, so to speak. But that night, Bev was going to come to the game. And I said, honey, I said, I don't think you want to come to the game tonight. I said, if I have a bad night, they're liable to tar and feather me out there tonight. And she said, I'll be there. The first time up, I got a base hit. And the cheers were about 75% boos and 25% cheers. And the next time up, it was about 50-50, and I got another hit. And so the third time I came up, well, the cheers were about 75 applause and 25 boos, and I got a double. And I got to second base and got a standing ovation from the crowd. And so if you produce, why, they're on your side. But again, I say, when I'm lousy, I know I'm lousy, and I took it out on myself. And sometimes that was good, sometimes it was bad. But basically, I let them know. I let them know that they were good fans, and they let me know that they were good fans, and the love affair was still there.
One of those fans, Hilda Chesterner cowbell, of course the symphony band, the hit sign windsuit. What was your favorite lasting memory of Ebbets Field?
I think I could hardly wait the first day I got to Ebbets Field from spring training to get out on the field and look around and see if it was still there. Everything was still where it was, because it was home. And basically, I'd go out, I'd check the grass, and I'd see if the fence was still out in right field, and the scoreboard, and everything. And later on, when the fans got there, of course, Hilda was there, and a fellow named Eddie Paton, who blew a little whistle, was there. He was Cookie Lavaghetto's favorite fan. And we had some great fans. We had some people that were very loyal. We had our fan clubs. We had these young high school girls that would bring us birthday cakes and birthday cards and presents and things like that. And we'd have our picture taken with them and everything. And it was home. Brooklyn was our baseball home. And it was fun to be there.
Appropriately, you hit the last home run at Ebbets Field, and then a few years later you got the first hit at Dodger Stadium. Kind of bookend the Dodgers franchise.
You know, my first at bat at Ebbets Field, I got a base hit. And I got the last home run off Robin Roberts, got my 40th home run in 1947 off Robin Roberts in Ebbets Field, the last home run that was hit there. Got the first Dodger hit in the Coliseum. Got the first Dodger hit in Dodger Stadium. And these are all statistics that no one particularly remembers but me, but they're important to me. And my last at bat in Ebbets Field was a home run. I had a chance to play. We had two more games after I hit that home run that I could have played, and Manager Alston came up to me and asked me if I wanted to play, and I said no. I said I'd like to have that last at bat that I had last Sunday. Numbers weren't important, 42 home runs or 45 or whatever, or 50. Numbers weren't important. I got the 40th, and that was 5 years in a row that I'd hit 40 or more home runs, and that was enough. Like I say, I wasn't a numbers person, but sort of sentimental about that last at bat at Ebbets Field being a home run.
When the franchise did move, obviously it was a homecoming in a way, coming back to where you were born in Southern California.
Well, you know, the media has a way of changing, misquoting people. And I had that happen to me several times, but the one time that I remember is what we were talking about moving to Los Angeles, and I was asked, I guess you're happy about the Brooklyn Dodgers moving to Los Angeles. And I said, well, let's put it this way. If the Dodgers had to move somewhere, I'm glad it was Los Angeles. But basically, none of us wanted to leave Brooklyn because that was our home, baseball home. And the headline the next day was, Snider, glad the team moved to Los Angeles. And they turn things around on you sometimes to where it makes a nice story for them, but it's not exactly the way you meant the story to be written or your quotes to be quoted.
And of course in '59 you guys do win the series again, but probably with a much different feeling being in LA, and really only 3 guys remaining in that starting lineup from '55.
Well, it was a big thing. We came into the Los Angeles airport from Chicago, where we beat the White Sox the day before. And we came into Los Angeles, and there were thousands of people at Los Angeles airport. And we had big ceremony. It wasn't right at the main terminal. It was where the old terminal used to be in Los Angeles, to where they pulled us up to, where they could handle the crowd. And it was a tremendous thrill being from Los Angeles and helping the team win its first World's Championship in Los Angeles was a big thrill, but not like '55. '55 was the ultimate.
In '62, which wound up being your last season with the Dodgers, you were named captain, and that was a position that Pee Wee Reese had held. What did that mean to you?
Well, I think I wasn't playing much, so Buzzy wanted to give me something to do, to communicate with the players and get things keep things more or less on an even keel. So that was my job. I took the lineup up to home plate every night, and I was the captain. If the players had any griefs, they came to me, and then if I thought they were substantial enough and I couldn't straighten them out myself, why, I would go to management and try and get things straightened out. But a lot of them were petty complaints, and they were easy to iron out. But every once in a while there was a legitimate one that I'd go to manager Alston and talk to him about, and we'd try and get things straightened out. It was basically I was a go-between between the manager and some of the players.